It's not moving.
Shh.
Happy New Year! How are you today? I'm so happy to be here today. How was your New Year's? Listen, I just want to thank you for tuning in to Let's Talk About It. I am your host, Dr. Powell, and we have a show for you that's like none other. I guarantee you, you will enjoy. So you definitely want to go and get your friends, get your mom, and your dad. Go and get that loved one. Yeah, that special somebody. Bring them on too. Tell them, look, I've got something for you to listen to tonight. We even have a game for you to play, so you don't want to miss this. So, listen, how was your whole week last week? After Christmas, everybody just kind of tuned down. But I tell you, I had the best New Year's week. I call it the New Year's week because, after Christmas, everything is New Year's for me. It was so beautiful. I decided I'm just going to just chill, just chill, just have a good time. And I got the biggest surprise of my life. One of my sister, girlfriend, cousin, best friend, whatever, sweet girl is what we call her, popped into town and it was on. We had a ball. We used our time. Both of us are in the teaching field. So it was like a vacation like never before. And we actually used our time to just pamper us. Amen. Sometimes you got to use your queen status. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to just take care of yourself, especially when you don't have no one to take care of you but God. So listen, I want you to get yourself ready. Put your seatbelts on tonight because we have a host tonight, your girl Donna, and she has an awesome topic. I am just excited about it. I want you to get ready and let's go.
Hi, Angela. You just led into our current event. New Year's Day, New Year, time for New Year's resolution. So that's going to be our current event. I know a lot of people are coming up with ways that they can improve their 2023. I know it's January 3rd. I'm still on my list. But what I did is I searched the web to find out some of the most common New Year resolutions, and and a lot of them actually have to do with love. So some of those that I found had to do with, you definitely have to learn to love your vegetables, eat healthier, have to love exercise. We know those gyms are making a lot of money right now from those New Year's resolutions and memberships out there. But interesting enough, one of the things that I found is also that we have to learn to love ourselves in 2023. And I saw that you mentioned some of that self-love that you and your other friends have did, Angela. So that's great to hear. But let me expand a little bit on this. Learn to love yourself. So it's important to love yourself, because if you don't love yourself, it's going to be really difficult, if not impossible, to love anybody else. So I want to share one of the scriptures that is found on Mark 12:31, which is love your neighbor as yourself. A lot of us are very familiar with that. But your neighbor is not just that person living next door. This also has to do with relationships. So this leads us to today's topic and to you, Donna.
Well. Hello, you guys, and again, welcome to the show. Let's talk. And tonight, we're going to call truths, everybody, because we are going to talk about a well known discussion, which is amongst all mankind. We're going to talk about the subject: how do I know if I'm really in love? And so, love has many forms. And uh, some of the forms are being attached to someone or based upon your feelings, or perhaps sharing things or doing things together. And then there's the big word intimacy. And we're going to tonight discuss and talk about all of it, because I believe that there's millions of people out there that is really wanting to know the big question: am I really truly in love? And the question to ask tonight is, why do we fall in love at the same time? And I want to share with you all some of the main reasons why we feel like, or why we might perhaps think that we are in love. And again, number one on the list that we talked about, uh, I say the biggest word to me would be intimacy. And the question to ask is, can a basic relationship really be built off of just intimacy, or um, is it any type of commitment there? And then number two, we're going to cover basics on just being passionate, having compassion for one another. And that's a part of letting go of every part of you that's
Mm,
for that one particular relationship, and it builds strong desires, and it also is a great feeling that's on the inside for someone. And number three, we all want to talk about the desire of being committed, and to be
mm,
able to believe in someone, or to truly feel safe, or to have that reassurance. You want to know if that other person is committed. Now, lastly but not least, I won't say this is the last of the least, but knowing to love outside of what your expectations are, or what you started out in a relationship. One of the quotes or sayings they normally say when we are getting married, the priests always say, for better or worse. Or, in other words, are you really truly in love, that no matter what go on throughout the relationship, you're willing to stay? And so that question again we ask tonight is, am I truly in love? Am I willing to withstand some of these things? Am I willing to love throughout the relationship, throughout time? Or am I just falling in love, or having a feeling of building a relationship? And there's a big difference. Build a relationship, sometimes you have to work together. And so um, I've known people that might be distance in relationships. And so, what I want to talk tonight about, ladies, is how is it that some people are in relationships, and sometimes they may say, oh, well, we've been in love for about a year, but we only been on a phone conversation, or we only went out a couple of times. Um, I question myself on that, because I feel like a phone conversation is not being able to observe the character or the stability of the other person. And I mean, come on, ladies, have you really, you seriously going to tell me that you can build a relationship off of just a telephone conversation? So the first question we come up with is, am I in love or am I in lust? Is it just an emotional thing? Is this just a friendship that I like with the conversation that I'm having? Now I want to go deeper with it because sometimes we meet people and their voice sounds good. You might meet this young lady or young man and you say, oh my God, her voice sounds so sexy, and you fall in love with that, but you never get to meet the person. There's some people out here in the world that's been truly wrapped up in relationships or dating on social media and have not even gotten a chance to meet. So, ladies, I want to ask you all tonight: have you had any of those experiences thus far?
Donna, you don't know my background, but I felt like you were talking to me. Oh my God.
Me too.
So let me tell you. So I met my ex-husband. Notice I said ex in the military. And he was tall, dark, and handsome, and he had that great, sexy voice that you were talking about. So so after we finished school a military school, he got stationed in Hawaii and I got stationed in North Carolina, and for about a year we kept that long distance relationship that you were talking about just uh, talking to each other on the payphone. This is before social media, before cell phones, on weekends, and that was about it. I think I don't have them anymore. Maybe we corresponded via letter and stuff like that. But I remember when we finally got married on the first week, I was like, "Oh my God, I made a mistake." And it was because of what you're talking about. I did not know the man. You know, our marriage lasted for about 13 years. I have three wonderful children that I love, that I'm truly grateful for. So, it happens, but everything that happens in our life, it's to make us who we are. So I'm not
Mhm.
regretful, but listeners, if you know, if I was listening right now, I would say, uh, think it twice. So those are my 2 cents.
Oh wow, that you know what, Teresa, I'm telling you, that is something. But I was listening to you, and it's like God still blessed it for you to have those three babies out of it. And I know they're your world. I'm telling you.
Yes,
Well, I'm telling you,
yes.
when Sister Donna was talking about this stuff, and she got to that part about them long distance relationship and phone call relationships, I started thinking back to mail order bride. You know how people send in and bring their spouse all the way from overseas somewhere, and they never even met them. It's another one called married at first sight. That means they just meet. And Teresa, I would have never thought that you were fitting into that category. But anyway, I really know better, really. I mean, I was blessed, and to marry my husband in the military as well. But we were stationed together for a year, and when he got ready to leave to be stationed somewhere else, I had those orders to go to Vincenza, Italy, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to Italy, and I was excited about it. And unfortunately, he was in charge of all the paperwork, so he just switched my paperwork to go where he went, and we just got married. And then with my second husband, he truly loved me as well, and we were able to date for a little over a year before we got married. But man, today's time, it been years and years and years and years and years since I had dated. So one of my sisters told me about this, going online, doing this online dating and whatever. And it was like foreign language for me. But I'm gonna tell you something. I had those feelings that Donna was talking about on one occasion, and I'm like, I had to come to my senses to realize, it's no way, because You really got to know a person to really fall in love with them. You might fall in love with their voice. You might fall in love with yearning to be with them. And believe me, and I've taught this before and looked it up, and it's true. You can actually get a soul tie, ladies, on the phone. It's no longer soul tie just being intimate anymore. You can have a soul tie nowadays. So many people are virtual and social media and all that stuff. You can have such a soul tie until you think you are really, really in love. But I mean, if you're not willing to go and visit each other and see each other and shower each other and just it's just so much. I'm gonna save my stuff to the end, but I'm telling you, it's just so many things that you really have to ask yourself, are you really in love? Or is it lust? Or is it just a soul tie because you connected with each other?
Well, ladies, what do you think? Because, as we were discussing this topic, I was thinking to myself that, I have my children, I love them. I have my family, I love them. But I'm one of those that have been in a dating relationship for a long time. And I haven't found love, obviously, but sometimes I was thinking that I I think I have grown a resistance to love because whenever somebody tells me that they love me, I'm like, what do you want?
Like,
That's
yeah,
always
right. I can
so.
relate, girl.
I was like trying to think, have I ever been in love? I don't know if I have. Do you guys have any suggestions or anything that I might be able to do?
Well,
Well,
were you gonna say something? Go ahead, Donna.
I would like to first say this much, Teresa. You're a beautiful lady. And so we know that a lot of times it's not because of our what we present or what we come with. It's just like you said, sometimes you be hurt and you go through something and you be like, you was not about to play me. And I've been there, but and I always said, after my last relationship, my last breakup, oh, I'm done, I'm finished. I'm never going through this again. And I had that same attitude, girl. I just knew that there will never be another man that I would fall in love with. But it came the time where I finally gave love another chance, and I do believe I have found the love of my life. I asked myself some of these questions myself, and I want to say that I did think to come up with this topic because this has just been a great year for me. I just feel like I've truly found somebody that loves me for me, and if you can ask different questions to yourself of how do we respect one another. One of the major issues I had was just in general shutting down. Uh, I don't like once I'm nagged or when I feel like I don't want to talk about something, I just don't want to talk about it. But I'm so glad that my spouse is not the type to just consistently say, well, we need to talk. He gave me space. And girl, I looked one day and it was so silent. I was like, oh my God, where is my boo? But sometimes it could be things within us, how we feel because of the hurt. But other than that, we must ask these questions, especially if we are dating on online and we've went consistently, ladies. It's like I'm putting myself in those type of shoes, and I say, "Oh no," because after 2 weeks of dating with you and getting to know you on a phone call, I expect to be able to at least, go out to dinner and we go from there. I want to get to know the person. I want to be around them. Now, I know sometimes it's hard meeting up because even even a man or a woman might want to meet in public places, or perhaps they might be afraid. But if you cannot, the question is, are you, because sometimes it could be somebody in a relationship that they are silent about. They might be hiding something from you. What would keep a relationship from flourishing? What actually keeps when you met someone and you expect to meet up with them, literally get a chance to see them in person, and it's going on and on consistently. What do you ladies think the problem might be? I already listed one. I said he might be have a wife. So what do you guys think?
I would definitely say they're definitely not in love. I tell you that. But I wanted to bounce off of what Teresa was saying before I answer that question, Donna. Teresa, I wanted to say that I can relate to you, and I don't know where it came from. This wall that's up, and I give the credit really of my marriages to my grandmother, because my grandmother told me years ago, before I even got married, she said, "Listen, this is an old people thing. You don't have to agree with it. Everybody won't agree with it, but this is what she told me. She said, always make sure whoever you marry loves you more. Make sure they're in love." So that's what I did. I made sure that they were in love. But I'm still questioning me. Have I ever been in love? Because it's always been that wall up. I mean, I learned to really love my first husband and my second husband, but falling head over heels like they talk about it, like that experience. Mm-mm. I don't know if I've really experienced that. But to get back to what Donna was saying, I mean, this new thing, boy, this new thing about dating online is something else. And it's not for us. It's not for me anyway, because we got three generations of ages here. But it's just not for me, I don't think, because I think the old school way of meeting up, going out, having dinner, um, sitting around watching television together, or going fishing together, or going to visit each other, parents of family, and get together with friends and stuff. I like the old school way. I don't like this social media thing, because people are now, especially during COVID, they get settled in their ways and they just settle for social media. They don't even care if they never see you. I don't
Mhm.
agree with that, Donna. To answer your question, no, I don't agree with that.
Well, well, listen, everyone. Donna has provided a list of questions to help me and help us. Find out to see if we're in love, to find out to see if there's intimacy or commitment. On our part and also the other part. So, ladies, help me answer some of these questions. Uh, Question number one, that we should ask ourselves when we're with that other person: how do you feel when you make eye contact with them? I know a lot of times when I feel there's chemistry, that I'm attracted to them, um, I might feel shy, embarrassed. Um,
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree, Teresa. As a matter of fact, I had met this person that I was trying to figure out what in the world is going on. Every time I came close to them and or look at them in their face, I got so nervous. I was like really trembling inside. So, and I was questioning, is that love? But apparently not. you know. So
Yeah.
oh, it's so funny. Okay, so question number two: ask yourself, does your partner take me out in public? Oh, that is so important. Now, is your partner gonna show you off to everybody, or are they gonna hide you in the house? Definitely ask yourself that. Um, I know for me, a lot of times, after a first few weeks or dates, I like public show of affection, as we can see on our picture, holding hands. Um, Nada, do you? I know a lot of people don't like public shows of affection. What do you think about that? Is that a must?
Wow, I don't want to answer all of them. What do you think, Donna?
I think yes, it's truly a must. Definitely a must. When I met my fiance, those I didn't want to pressure him because I didn't know if he would be willing. But one of my favorite places to go out on a date, because I wanted him to know who I was church. And he said yes, and we went, and we actually went and went shopping, and we bought what type of outfits we wanted to wear together. And of course, I thought it was going to be fun, but if you ever grew up in church, you know the rules. We can't sit together, we can't be all lovey dovey in the church and stuff, but we grew in it. Our relationship is really built on God Himself, and even when it comes to going out, different places, we go out to eat, and we enjoy ourselves. We spend time together. We both like to play the PlayStation. Yes, I love PS4. And so when he's away, because sometimes he have to go in another state, and we take time together. We get on the PS4 and we talk together. We can hear each other on the headsets, and he be riding in the car with me, girl, while I'm driving on Grand Theft Auto. And we be having a good old time. So yes, it's very important to take time out with your spouse and spend time with them. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all something about that. I've known people in relationships. I've actually seen this where one of my girlfriends was in a relationship, and she shared it with a couple of me and the other ladies. But no, when you look on Facebook, you might not see her picture of her friend or whatever. And I asked a question sometimes to some women, and their response is, "Well, you don't need to share your man with everybody." And they say, well, that keeps away the argument, confrontations in the relationship. And I am going to respond to that tonight. I will say this much: if you get in any type of relationship and you got to look over your shoulders, ladies, or you feel like you're gonna be disrespected by that man getting some air or being able to have a life
Mhm.
like you do, because some of y'all women on Facebook all the time, and a man barely puts pictures up, and you done took about a million pictures. You can't put a picture up of your man every now and then. There's something wrong with that picture, ladies. So, what do you girls think about that?
Well, I can honestly say in both of my marriages that I had, we were very affectionate out in, especially out in the open. I mean, we just showed our love, you know. And I feel like today's time, I keep going back to this virtual social media stuff. I don't know what it's about. It reminded me of this movie one time that I saw where everything, it was like a future movie where everybody was just not even touching each other anymore. They was just dealing with each other on a social media type thing. But anyway, to me, that is not the real deal. It's just not the real deal, because we grow from affectionate and touch is what, when I remember as a guardian ad litem, we learned that a child needs touch because that helps them to thrive. And to me, a relationship needs touch because it helps the relationship to grow and to thrive. I have a very good friend of mine. I'm not going to call her name, but I love her so much. And man, I'm gonna tell you, she started a love story on her page. And it went on for the whole, just about almost the whole year last year, most the majority of it anyway. And every day she was putting a new picture up of she and her boo, and every day, sometimes more than once a day. And I hope she's watching. I was like, oh man, that is so beautiful. You go, girl. And to me, when a woman and a man is willing to be in a relationship and not have to hide it, and it don't have to be another spouse. It could be just them being ashamed of showing somebody that they have a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a husband or a wife or whatever. To me, mm-mm. It goes back to Jesus. If you be ashamed of me, I'll be ashamed of you. you know.
Okay, well, I'm gonna find a middle ground, ladies, because Angela, I like your idea of taking them to church, meeting family and stuff. But in my social media, I do have a lot of extended family and friends, from the many places that I lived and stuff. So I remember I did it twice where I was in relationships and went ahead and declared that relationship only to a couple of months later having to retract it. So that was very it was more embarrassing than anything. I didn't want my friends and family to get the wrong impression of
But you
me, but
definitely want to be sure.
so
Oh
so
boy.
I since I'm closer with the family that lives here around me, they know more of my story, what's going on with me. I think in the future I would feel more comfortable presenting that other significant other in public, just even just so that they can give me their feedback on, hey, what do you think about this person, are we a good match, or just suggestions. But in public social media, I think I next time I'll wait a little bit longer before
And know
I
for
make that
sure.
declaration.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and know for sure. Definitely, definitely, definitely wait and know for sure. I think they knew they was gonna get married, and they just announced that they are engaged. Hey, ladies, listen, we have a caller on the line that's been waiting for us so patiently. Thank you, Allie, for waiting for us because we're hasn't having such a good time. We forgot all about the audience. We need to include them in. So we have Allie that's here, and she's going to be coming online, and let's listen and hear what her question is. All right. Well, we must have lost her while we were waiting, but that's okay. That's okay. Teresa, you were asking us a bunch of questions. Did you have another question that you wanted to ask us? And I definitely want to reiterate that. Please make sure that before you put that picture up, that is definitely someone that you are in love with and they are in love with you, because that makes all the difference.
Okay, ladies, the third question is, has that other person ever told you that they loved you? Now, that's the big thing. I usually tend to hear that at the very beginning, which of a relationship, and that makes me very dismayed because I'm like, hey, dude, you don't know me that well. It's like, how can you tell me that you love me? So again, one of the other reasons why I tend to build walls, but definitely as a relationship progresses, I always like to look at actions. Hey, do your actions match your words? Any
That's
thoughts,
right.
ladies?
That's good.
Yeah.
Wow, I gotta back that up 100%. The action must match the words. Because I mean, especially now on social media, just about every comment is in it with I love you, smiley face, I love you, hot, 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 I love you. So I love you is just being really taken for granted. But the way that you know about love is if that person words line up with the words that coming out of their mouth. If it doesn't, mm, you need to put a check beside that one. Say, okay, thank you very much, and keep going.
And okay, so question number four is, what type of behavior does my partner display when I'm upset? One of the things that I've always looked at is I always, I always would see the person upset. I want to see how they react in when they have problems, or when they're stressed, or where there's a situation like that. It's important, because you don't. They always want to show you their good side, but hey, we all have to. You ladies have any examples of those where those upsetting moments when they really open up your eyes?
Of course, and it worked both ways.
Yes.
Women,
Mhm.
men, sometimes we worried about a man because he's masculine, but there are some women out here that are out of control when they get angry. And I've had a man that's consistently saying, "Lady, listen, listen," how the little boy on the commercial says, "Linda, Linda, Linda, listen." And they go on and on and on. And we have to be mindful that in relationships there should be respect, there should be
Yes.
boundaries. And anything we do, we have to have respect. And I think communication is very important. Learning how to let one person speak at one time. That's
Yes. Yeah.
I don't like to see when they're both yelling and screaming and nobody getting the point across. Sometimes one person has to be quiet. Now, men always know that women feel like they always winning. But ladies, come on. Sometimes we have to learn how to be submissive and be quiet and listen sometimes, because I mean, sometimes it could be a good thing he's saying, or it might be a question you might want to answer to. And the whole time, the screaming and yelling is like you gonna force yourself to believe what you want to believe. And he might say, if you ask the question, "But do you really love me?" And he probably said about 100 times, "No, I really don't." But you started yelling and screaming and fussing and charading, and you're gonna make the person want to do what they don't want to do. And so always be patient, because uh one thing about love, love is patient.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I like to back that up by saying, not just in your love relationship, you have to learn to be patient, wait your turn, not over talk and talk at the same time. Even when it comes to your job, even when it comes to your communication with your family, communication with your friends, because that's a frustrating thing when you're always, don't have that person that will not listen and always interrupting and always talking at the same time. That's enough to drive anybody crazy. So I know that's enough to mess up a relationship. And it was something else that I don't know if it was Donna or Teresa that mentioned about the yelling and the screaming. And one thing that I wanted to say is, you want to know how you in love? He will not intentionally hurt you. Serious business. Ladies, I'm on a serious tip now. He will not intentionally hurt you. He will not be so easily angered at the least little thing that you do. He will be that protector. He'll be there to defend you no matter what. That was one thing I could say about my first husband. Boy, you could not, he was like a bear. You could not speak to me the wrong way, and I loved that. That was such a protection to defend your honor, and he'll be willing to apologize even when he's wrong, or to forgive you when you're wrong, because a lot of times the women be wrong too.
Yes.
He will be more patient with you. That's how you know that's love, man. But if you get in a relationship and the least little thing they fly off the handle and they're so angry with you and you can't get a word in, especially if they don't want to listen to you, if you don't have communication, you cannot survive any relationship, not just a love relationship. A sister brother relationship, a husband, or a work relationship, any of that is going to fall apart if you cannot communicate. And that reminds me, young lady Mika on the social media was saying, yeah, communication is the key. Thank you so much for that. But here, one thing about when love comes out, it brings the best out of someone. And I just want to say these things because a lot of people get confused when somebody say, like Teresa was saying, when somebody say, I love you, everything else go out the window. They don't test what the Bible said. Try the word by the word.
Try the spirit
Also
by
try
the
to word
spirit.
by the actions. Because just because somebody say they love you, that doesn't exactly mean it's true. especially if you can't talk to them and their actions is always angry, and if their words and actions don't line up with one another, and even still if they won't open up to you. That's something that's very, very important, because if you get to the place where you can't open up, you can't communicate. And ladies, let me say this, and I can honestly say this, out of both of my marriages, I'm gonna tell you something. When that man really love you, he will be so proud of you that you won't have to worry about him not wanting to show you to his family and his friends. He will be so proud of you that he want you to be on his shoulder. He'll want you to go out and do things with him. So you got to try the word with the action. Don't just take I love you like Teresa was saying. Don't just take that. You got to try it. You got to see how much patience they're going to have with you. You got to see whether or not they're going to be frustrated and angry with you all the time. You got to see if they're going to make an effort. Everybody starts off a certain way, but after a while, you got to be able to grow. If you love a person, you accept them for who they are, but if they got some quirks, you don't expect them to stay there. And listen to me, social media world out there, if you really love them, a long distance relationship don't work. It just don't, because you have to have some type of contact to be able to show real true love.
Thank you for those words of wisdom, Angela. They're really resonating. Now, listeners, for all these questions that I'm asking, if you're joining us and answering those questions in your head, don't just get the answers. View them as flags. Now, how many red flags have you gotten? you know, a lot
That's
of
good.
people.
That's good.
Yeah, a lot of
Right,
people like to
that's good.
collect those red flags, but don't use those those lessons as learning tools. So this leads me to my last question. Ask yourself, compare to my ex, my current significant other, blank. Okay, so fill in the blank. So as we go from relationship to relationship, while we're dating, we want to be able to progress, not regress. Remember, we're learning from maybe from things that we like, things that we don't like. We're more focusing towards the qualities and attributes that we want in that lifelong partner. So let me put in here for an example. So compared to my ex, my current significant other, um, definitely there's a lot of communication throughout the entire day. Sometimes it's excessive, from my level. So that's one of the adjustments that I'm having to do, where the other significant other requires a lot of communication. So I'm it's kind of like getting used to it. um, Ladies, do you have any comparison, where you're progressing in, not just one-on-one relationship, but progressing, in your way of being?
Want to go,
And
Angela? Or you?
Oh, okay. I thought you was gonna go. Um, you go, Donna.
I was laughing at Teresa when she said how he's around more, than the other significant was. Man, I've been there. Um, in the beginning, it was like, why? Where is he going? Why is he coming on this side of the door? Like, why is he opening a car door for me? I had to get used to that stuff. Ladies, I would literally get out of the car, open the door, and it seemed like he was so upset. Like, woman, can you wait for me? And I just was appalled. Like, I could have been in the grocery store about now. But it's all about if you know what you're worth and all, and I mean, sometimes we pray for things and we don't even realize it, ladies. We don't realize. We might say, Lord, send us a good man. Send me a helpmate. Send me somebody that is I'm gonna be able to understand. And the thing about love is it's an emotion, it's a feeling. It's not what it looks like on the outside. And sometimes we might be looking for Mandingo, you're looking for that nice looking, tall, handsome, stacked man, and it might end up being a little short, stout man. But if he loves you, then you should love him the same. The main key is that we all in a relationship, in love, is a thing about being equally yoked. And
Mhm,
so when we all talked about how we should go about, even in the arguments, even in disagreements,
mhm.
we have to both see where we are wrong, not just point at one person and say he had to change this or she was doing that, but you accept the responsibilities together to work together to make it better for the entire relationship. Sometimes women like to be heard, and um, they say it a lot. You didn't hear me. Uh, I was talking, and if you stop long enough and you timed it, and you realize when she give you an opportunity to speak, then me, I cut you short sometimes because I had a habit of no, because I already done said what I said, and that's it. That's not fair. That's not fair at all. We have to listen in the relationship, and it would build from there. But I really totally enjoyed this entire conversation because it's just although I feel like I'm where I need to be, ladies, I said it's a learning method and it's a consistent thing. I'm learning all at the same time we talking here tonight.
This is good. This is really, really good. I just want y'all know I got to throw my little 2 cent in. I just want to say back to the door opening and all that stuff, ladies. Believe me, I had my husbands did that. And listen, if you had a good man and he showed you that protection, he showed you that love, he showed you that patience, and he showed you in so many ways how much he cared about you, don't settle for less. You got to go higher. You cannot go backwards. You got to go forward. Amen. You got to go forward. And that brings me to this because I was just sharing with the girls how at both of my weddings I had this to be read out of out of First Corinthians 13, and it says, "Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs." Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always preserves, and love never fail. And I wanted to bring that out because many of in my first husband, he died, and I can honestly say I believe that if he was still living, we will be going into our 40 year of marriage, into 40 years of marriage, because honestly, just like grandmother said, and whether you think she's right or what, but I learned to love him because he loved me. And that's one of the things that I wanted to bring out. How do you really know somebody loves you? First of all, they'll be ready to provide for you, not just protect you. And I'm not talking about just money, guys. I'm talking about provision, provide for you in a lot of different ways. I mean, he couldn't even go to Egypt without bringing me half of Egypt back. And sometimes it wasn't even the money, it was just the affection, just the love, just showing how much he appreciated me. And I want to say that a lot of people might not believe this or understand this, but if he really loves you, he will be willing to pray for you. I'm talking about men of God now. He will be willing to pray for you. And when you act up, cut up, act like a fool, and think you're going to get away with it, he'll be smart enough to say, Father, I need you to talk to her because you know she wrong, but she your daughter. And God will speak to you if you're a woman of God and line you right up. For you know it, you be like, I'm sorry. I know I was wrong, whatever. But that's love. But listen, y'all might not realize this. Well, let me tell you the most important thing about love. When you know somebody loves you, it's when you love them back. Because in order to give love, you got to receive love. In order to receive love, you need to give love. Even if you had to go and grow to love, that's when you know you're really in love. Because if you're really not showing real love, then that person's going to fall out of love with you. You got to show them something to hold on to. I just thank God for this topic tonight. I hope a lot of you got a lot out of this topic. And the clock, I know the clock is ticking. We can't see it right now, but let me tell you guys, we just want to look. I don't want to leave out of here without saying, look, the producer just put up the number. Call that number, pick that phone up. Tell us, what do you think about what we've said? Or what do you think about love? Tell us about some of the experiences you had. I didn't jump right into that last thing that Teresa said because I'm like, well, I can't really compare because I mean, I've had two great relationships. They were both marriage, and I don't have a significant other. So I don't have anything to compare him to. And he certainly wouldn't stand up against God. So love is beautiful. If only you with the right person. Thank you, Kiru. Thank you, Kiru. You're exactly right. Lord, let me just speak on that for 1 minute. Listen, love is beautiful when you're with the right person. You know why? Because when you're with the right person, they will let you be you. And even if your you have a lot of flaws in it, they will accept those flaws and help you to be a better you. They won't condemn you. They won't chastise you. They'll help you to see how to be a better you. When you with the right person, they have that patience. When you with the right person, they want to flaunt you and show you off, baby. When you with the right person, they want to shower you with flowers. Girl, I know what I'm talking about. I done had the flowers, the door opening, the gifts, the whole 9 yards, but nothing meant anything except as much as that love did. Just showing me how much you care. Because my first husband used to give me so much, I'd be like, that's not love. I wanted to see action, affection. And he started to show me that action and affection that I needed. So when you're with the right person, they are willing to make a sacrifice and make the changes that it takes to keep you happy. Because I heard this old man say, he said, I think him and his wife had been married for 60 something years. They got married like 20 and they was like 80. So they had been in there going into the 60 something year. And he said, when the producer asked him about how do y'all make it last that long? He said, well, one thing I had to realize, it was easier to not be right all the time and keep her happy. Because a lot of times the argument is about, I'm right, you're wrong. I'm right, I'm right, you're wrong. No, you act just like that. You did that. Sometimes it's just peace, just to say, okay, whatever. If that's the way you want it, that's fine. Long as we have that peace.
Amen. Amen.
Ladies, we've got like 5 minutes left. I want you all to give these audience something that we have not given them tonight. Oh, wow. Thank you, Betty. Betty says, love is real. Love is when each person wants nothing less than to see each other happy. Girl, don't you know that's the truth? Because I'm gonna tell you something about me. When I fall in love, I want to give the whole world. I mean, especially women are like that. A lot of times, women are like that. Men might not be like that, but when a woman really falls in love with the man, she wants to make sure he has everything. That girl will go shopping for him and everything, dress him the way she wanted him to be dressed, give him what she thinks he don't have. I mean, that's love. That's love, and they don't have to ask for it either.
Mhm.
No, Angela, this is truth. I'm just caught up on what you said about uh, that if you really found true love, then he's gonna love you in spite of. He's not gonna hurt you. Love does not hurt, ladies. In case you did not know, if a relationship, you've been in a relationship and you got to find yourself somewhere in a corner crying this year, you might want to let that relationship go. That ain't love, baby, because love will sweep you off your feet. Love will make you feel some type of good on the inside because I mean I wake up every day feeling good and it doesn't matter how many I can see a million men out here and they might look different than my man, but my man, once you in love with somebody, they become the best looking person that is in
That's
your
right.
face and in your space. And so
That's right.
I'm just I'm in love. I don't know about nobody else, but I have found the true love of my life, and I feel like this. We have to learn how to respect one another. I'm the wild one, everybody, in this relationship over here. I'm driving the whip, but he has truly changed me because I heard Angela saying something about change in the middle of what she was saying, and that's definitely truth, true, true, truth. We said we was gonna pull the truth out tonight. Yes. I definitely changed a lot throughout this new relationship. It broke me of some attitudes and everything else. And the good part about it, it wasn't like I met some hard man that made me become soft, but I met a great, nice, understanding
Very
man that's
nice.
willing to make me feel. Nobody feels good having a man that's a cheater or
Mhm.
the type of man that's disrespectful, call a woman out their name or any of that. I'm just so glad that I don't have to go back into that life again. So
Oh,
Well,
there's
listen,
wow. Yeah, you know what? Kingsley just sent that in. Love is respect, Donna.
yes.
Love is respect. Did
so
you want to say
listen,
more?
Thank you, Kinsley.
Go
sorry,
ahead.
I do want to add a couple of words. Thank you, ladies, for all the great advice. I'm definitely going to take a lot of our talk into consideration as I go through this journey. Not going to give up on love, but definitely going to practice a lot of self love so that just to maintain myself complete once that significant other arrives. So thank you so much.
Listen, I got to leave them with this one tip. Y'all ready for this tip? I'm going to leave you with this one tip. Whatever you do, when you fall in love, make sure that it's someone who accepts you for you. And you single ladies out there, I want to tell you something. Don't allow no one to intimidate you and push you into doing something that you don't want to do because real love will not force you to do anything that you don't want to do. And that's not just with a man, your friends, your family, different ones might say, well, I got a man. Well, that don't mean they happy either. They might not even be in love. So wait for God. Wait for God to send that right person to you. So you'll know that thing will last. I know mine will last for 40 years, but you'll know that it will last and you will have no doubt about it. Love is real. Amen. Thank you all so much. We gotta close. I don't want to close though. This was so good. My girl Donna, y'all know she always bring it. She always bring it the young style, because we like three generations up here. But anyway, I'm not gonna tell y'all age. I'm not shaming mine, but I'm not gonna tell yours. But anyway, what I wanted to say is that listen, we had some winners last week, and they weren't in the house. And that was the Kingsley family. They were not in the house. So I'm gonna take a quick look at my phone. Y'all give me just a second. And I want to see who brought in the most people this week. Because the person that brought in the most people this week is the one that's gonna have to win the pot. Because the other ones were not here last week. Let's see who did it. Let's see who did it. Let's see who did it. And if you brought somebody in, they should be saying, "Oh, look at it, look at it, look at it." Oh my God, Kingsley won again. Kingsley filled up the house. All right, Mr. Kingsley.
All righty,
Congratulations.
Kingsley.
I don't want to announce this, but I have to. I'm so proud of him. That's my intercessor, guys. That's my
Right.
intercessor. Kingsley, we'll be getting with you for that $50 gift certificate from Let's Talk About It. Listen, guys, y'all be blessed. I'm Dr. Powell, and I've enjoyed this.
I'm Teresa Vina. Thank you for joining us.
Donna, your girl.
We'll see you next Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Don't be late.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.